Hi everyone, I hope you're all keeping well. Today I thought I would do a bit of a video on the different types of products that I used or that I am using for breastfeeding. Just a disclaimer, I am a strong believer in the fact that fed is best. I don't have any crazy opinions on whether breastfeeding is better, bottle feeding is better, combi feeding is better, formula feeding, just nothing like that. I think fed is best, so whatever works for you, your little one and your family and your lifestyle, that's the main thing. You know what's best for you and your child and your situation. So I thought I would show you the first product that I bought for breastfeeding, and it is the Hukka. So I ended up getting two of these actually, so that I could use two at a time. What they're mainly used for is, when you're breastfeeding your baby on one breast, putting this on the other breast whilst you're breastfeeding just captures the drippings, so ensure that there's no wastage. And as we know, milk and when you're breastfeeding is like liquid gold. So what you do is you make sure that your breast is all around this edging here, and then you suck it in and you slowly release. And basically what the suction does is help stimulate your breast to allow those drippings to come out of your breast. So what I've done before is I've also not been breastfeeding Isla, and I've just had both of them on, and it just works well for me as I've got quite a high supply of breast milk. And what I've also done is actually hand expressed into the Hukka, as because it's got that edging, it's just really great to make sure that when I am hand expressing, it's not going everywhere, as it tends to get a little bit messy at times. So that is the Hukka. Moving on. So unfortunately, when I was using the Hukka, at one point I ended up spilling all of the milk that I collected. I think it was like 30 mils, and at the time it was when I was first starting to breastfeed, so 30 mils was a lot, and it was when Isla wasn't latching properly, so I was actively trying to express so that she could use it, to obviously use straight away, or use it within the day or two. Whereas at the moment I'm kind of expressing and freezing it because I'm happy to just breastfeed her from the boob most of the time. So when that happened, I cried, there were tears, I cried over spilt milk. So what my friend suggested is the Hukka company actually have these lids which go on the Hukka. So I didn't know that at the time, but what I did to prevent spilling the milk in the meantime while I was waiting for this to be delivered is I actually put this in a mug. So just putting it in a mug that you put your tea, your coffee in, just means that it's not so easy to fling off and fall on the table, which is what happened sadly when I lost mine. So yeah, it's a tip. So either get a mug and place it in there so it avoids it from spilling, or get one of these bad boys, and you'll make sure that you don't waste any of your milk. The thing I did when collecting the milk for Isla when she was latching incorrectly or wasn't able to latch very well is I got these bottles. So the brand that I have got is called Medela or Medala. I say Medala, I think it's Medela. Either or, that's a really great brand, and they actually have a breast pump. They've got loads for breastfeeding. They're really helpful. So these bottles are what I got. So they are 150 ml, and basically what I would do is once I was finished huckering, I would just tip it, and I would literally make it go in like that so that there was no wastage, because my partner once went like that, spill everywhere. So yeah, I just made sure that you squeeze it and you allow the milk to just drip in to avoid wasting any of the liquid gold that you collect. Speaking of Medela, I also got these handy little things. Sorry, it looks very disheveled. It's breast milk storage bags, and what they look like is this. So, wrong way up. So you place your name and the date that you expressed your liquid gold here, and the amount as well. And basically what you do is there's a little scissor icon here. You just tear it, you pop the milk in there, and then you make sure to clear as much of the air out as possible, and then seal it here, which is really handy. And then you just put them in the freezer. They are one use only, so once you've finished using the milk, you can just chuck it out, and this has a pack of 50, and again I just got this off Amazon, but it's the Medela brand or the Medala brand, and that works a treat. Another thing that I got from Medela is this cool bag. So when Isla wasn't latching very well, we went out. Obviously I was a bit anxious going out, the fact that she wasn't really latching on correctly, so I would try her on the breast, but then if all else failed I would have to syringe feed her, which I'll discuss in a second. But basically these Medela bottles, they fit perfectly in here. I think there's 4 that you can fit in. Comes with a big cooler box that's actually got indents in to ensure that you can fit up to 4 bottles in there perfectly. So yeah, I would definitely recommend getting one of those. And in terms of syringes, so we started off with a 1 ml. So I was introduced to the 1 ml in the hospital when having Isla to help obviously get colostrum, and then we have the 5 ml and the 10 ml. But before syringe feeding, I would definitely recommend speaking to your midwife beforehand. When she wasn't latching very well, we weren't sure if we were going to have to move on to bottle feeding her, whether that was going to be formula or breast milk still. So I believe I got one of these in a promo pack. So this is the Mam brand, and I've heard really good things about this brand actually. So that's the tip there, and this is size 0, so for a newborn. And yeah, so I got that one, and then I also got one for colicky babies. So this is from Dr. Brown's. So I wasn't sure if Isla was going to obviously have reflux or be colicky, so I bought this one as well. And recently I have decided to start bottle feeding Isla potentially soon, so that I can maybe go out, or if I get my hair done, if I'm out for 2 hours or something like that, she can have a bottle. So we recently purchased this. So this was actually from John Lewis, so it's Tommy Tippy branding, and John Lewis had a special. So this was £114, I believe, and let me just tell you what's in it. So there is an electric breast pump, there is electric bottle and food warmer, 150ml feeding bottle, 260ml feeding bottle, 6 disposable breast pads, 20 milk storage bags, 3 travel and microwave sterilizer bags, 1 milk feeding bib, and 2 medium flow teats. So this is what some of the bits look like, and I actually used it for the first time last night, and the pump was brilliant, so I couldn't recommend it enough. I just followed the instructions, really basic and really simple, and it worked really well for us. Speaking of the breast pump being a success, I also decided to try Isla on the bottle for the first time. So I used the breast milk that I collected last night. I had it in the fridge because it can be in the fridge for, don't quote me on it, was it 2 to 4 days? Don't quote me on that, do your research. I do have the instructions, but yeah, I knew that I was going to be using it today to try and see what she was like on the bottle, and she did really well. So what I did is I basically put her on my boob and for about a minute or 2, and then I had the bottle there ready. I had put it on I had warmed it up in the Tommy Tippy milk warmer, so it was all ready to go for her. And once she'd been on my breast for a minute or 2, I then took her off it and offered her the bottle. So what happened when she first was introduced to it, so she pulled a funny face. That's what she did when I introduced the dummy to her for the first time. So she was just kind of playing with it, so putting her tongue kind of around it. And then eventually, after a while, she then started to suck, which was great. So she took 30 mils. It was 60 mils that I gathered yesterday when breast pumping. So she took 30 mils of it, and then about an hour and a half later, she took another 30 mils, and then I put her on the breast again just to make sure that she was still happy with the boob. So it's not something that I'm going to be doing all the time at the moment, so it's just something that I'm going to do when I need to go out, just to feel like I've got a little bit more freedom. But it was a huge success, so fingers crossed it continues to be that way. But if anyone has any questions about anything, any products that I've mentioned today, please feel free to leave them in the comments or reach out to me on Instagram. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed that little rundown of all the products that I've used so far with breastfeeding. It's you know, it has its ups and downs, but you know, especially when she was having difficulties latching, but now she's doing really well and took to a bottle, so we're really happy. All right, I hope you all have a good day. Bye.